My name is Shannon Kringen, and this is the lifespan of me, an artist, an unusual person, born in 1968 in San Diego, California. I am an only child of two parents who divorced. They met when they were young in college, and I am left-handed, fairly introspective, highly sensitive. I am 44 years old. There's my dad and I at the beach in San Diego. And I've never been married and never had kids. There's my mom, my dad, and my grandma and I, a very rare photo of all of us together. My mom and I, my family actually, we're really sensitive, pretty nice people, but we're all kind of separate and we do our own thing and we don't yell. And my lifespan development has been unusual and very intuitive, improvisational and non-traditional. My mom is, that's in San Diego. My mom is into Advaita Vedanta, non-duality, spirituality, and she does artwork, and she's sort of a hermit in the woods. And then my dad is like the city guy, and he's like agnostic and altruistic and into health food and diet and exercise. And there's my dad and I in the sandbox. And I was going to say that I think I'm very artistic and very sensitive, and my dad used to write comedy and music, and my mom is a visual artist and into meditation and Eastern philosophy and spirituality and direct experience and Jnana yoga. And there's me again in San Diego. These are mostly pictures of me as a kid in San Diego. I was going to say that I think that being artistic is similar to being autistic. And there's times when I think that I am autistic, but I've never been diagnosed as that. There's my dad and I in La Jolla, San Diego on the beach. I've been really getting into some of the things that Temple Grandin says about autism and what it's like to be a highly functional autistic person. Not sure if I'm actually autistic literally, but I have synesthesia. When I hear music, I see shapes and textures dance in my head. And when I hear music, I think of there's SeaWorld, San Diego, me and Charlie Tuna, I guess. I am very playful, and I'm 44 years old, and I'm still very much, there's Tecolote Canyon in San Diego where I lived. There's my grandma and I on the beach in San Diego. I'm wearing my dad's sweatshirt, and that's my dad's guitar on the blanket. And I love to play in the backyard. But I'll say that I'm highly sensitive, and Temple Grandin talks about what it's like to be autistic, and it's partly to have a specialist mind. There's my grandparents' Pontiac in San Diego, my little green shorts. And that was one of my birthdays. I think I had roseola, so I had some kind of illness, so I was feeling pretty sick, but it was my birthday. And autistic people are some of them are similar to being artistic in terms of, in some ways I'm very gifted and very sensitive, but in other ways I have a hard time socially. I feel very socially awkward. And to this day I feel, that's funny, I was happy with Santa in one picture, and that picture I look scared of Santa. So here I am narrating over the top of these photos, telling you what these photos are. There's me kind of looking like, you talking to me? You talking to me? With sunscreen in my hand, I guess. I think I don't want to put the sunscreen on. Me at the San Diego Zoo with a goat. I love goats. I'm really into animals. There's me with my dog Murphy in San Diego. I really, really tune into plants and animals more than people, I think. I think my grandma had me go to Sears and get my portrait taken, which I thought was fun. It made me feel special. And there I am pretending to be a model when I'm 8 years old. I'm holding a chocolate cigar, wearing my dad's girlfriend's shoes, I think, in that shot. And me and my friend Wendy camping in Cuyamaca near San Diego in California. And I was so happy this day. I loved having my picture taken. And I liked the sun shining through my hair, and I was walking in the stream. And my dad and I in Disneyland when I was, I think, 8 years old. In some ways, my childhood was really fun and playful. I did a lot of playing and had a lot of fun. My parents kind of didn't always give me as much attention as I wanted in some ways, but they were mostly actually pretty good people. There's my dad's guitar. It's me in La Jolla, San Diego. And there we had moved to Whidbey Island. So that's me as I think a 12-year-old with two of my friends. And that's before we left San Diego. That's me at a Padres game, I think, and at the San Diego Sports Arena. There's me again in La Jolla, California at the beach and tennis club where my dad taught tennis, pretending to be a model. Playing piano at my grandma's house. I think that's one of my cousins that I lost touch with. I have no idea what happened to that person. There's me in Hawaii. That's a stray cat that I bonded with, and I was taking fleas off the cat, feeling sorry for the cat. That's my dad and I in San Diego at the Rocket Ship Park, and I just learned to flip people off, so I'm flipping off in that picture. There's me as a 13-year-old playing tennis with my dad on Whidbey Island. There's me and my ex-stepsister. We were the Blues Sisters. We did performances in our living room for people. And my dad and I, when I was about 12, I think that's in Seattle, he was coming up to visit me from California. Me as I think at about 11-year-old camping at Nia Bay in Washington. That's me as a 13-year-old on Whidbey Island. My dad had picked me up from school and I was like all excited to see him. And that's my 13th birthday party with me and my friend Stephanie on Whidbey Island. I had a slumber party and it was a great experience. And me and my friend Stephanie again on Langley, Whidbey Island at the Chichokum Arts Festival. Self-portrait I took of myself obviously as an adult, kind of trying to do the glamorous thing. And I like to say, integrate the carrot, capiche? You are the carrot that you are chasing. In other words, value yourself. You are wonderful. Me on the tennis team in high school. Tennis is the only sport that I know how to play, and I'm pretty good at it, and I'm left-handed, which kind of gives me an advantage because it confuses all the right-handed people. My dad taught me again how to play. He's a really good tennis player. Me with my hand-painted shoes when I was about 22 years old. And I won a tennis match, and I got into the South Whidbey Record newspaper. And there's my dad in the middle, and my grandparents on the right, and my dad's older brother and cousin on the left. And my dad modeled briefly. He did a couple test shoots with Peter Gowland in Southern California. My grandpa pushed him into it, but my dad said he felt like a dork and never pursued modeling. There's me as a high school senior in 1986 on Whidbey Island. My mom and I, just after we got back from Hawaii, going from San Diego, moving up to Washington. There's my great-great-grandfather on my dad's side. He's a Kringen. I think he's a Gus Kringen. And this photo somebody gave me, and it's one of my distant relatives. One of the women in the shot's a distant relative, but I don't even know which one. Me as an adult after I got back from a Vipassana meditation retreat after 10 days of silent meditation. Art, Identity, and the Sacred. That's my book that is available at the Antioch College Library. I'm very proud of it. I was going to say, okay, here we go with some current adult self-portraits that I took. And I want to say another part of me that might be autistic which is similar to being artistic, is the fact that I love to take pictures of myself. I feel a little bit embarrassed and sometimes ashamed that I love to take pictures of myself because it comes off as kind of narcissistic. But the reason why I do it is because I'm kind of shy and afraid of people, and when I'm with myself and my camera, this is the part of me that's like an autistic person. Oh, that was at Burning Man, 2007, the only time I went to Burning Man. I will say that what might appear to be kind of narcissistic is my great joy, because I feel free when I photograph myself. I love to play with my camera, and I know that autistic people apparently connect sometimes with inanimate objects more than they connect with other people, which comes off as kind of selfish. But I actually feel more free to express myself when I play with my camera and I look at my own reflection in my camera lens. It's like a game that I play, and it's really fun, and I feel like the camera is my friend. And then I like to take these photos and share them with you, which might seem a little weird too, I guess, but that's the thing. I think I'm kind of an odd person, and I want to connect with other people, but I'm better at connecting indirectly. Like I connect with my camera, and that's a picture I took of the jaguar at the zoo. because I volunteer at the zoo. I love animals. And there's ARTBREAK, that's in Norway, Oslo, Norway. And this little kid walked by with its mom just as I was shooting that. That's in Norway, and my reflection in a beautiful mud puddle as the wind was blowing and the sun was going down. I love Norway. And that's me with my hand-painted shoes, my hand-painted drum behind me, and I painted my face. That's me in the jungle in Florida at a naturist gathering. I painted my face and my fingernails, and that's, again, a self-portrait. Another self-portrait from Florida, Loxahatchee, Florida, at the midwinter naturist gathering. And that's in Lenox, Massachusetts, at another naturist gathering where I was swimming nude with a bunch of other people. We're all clothing optional. If I had a twin brother, he might look like that. I know that picture's a little weird, but I like it. It's funny. I think it's funny, like Salvador Dali-like. And that's me in Norway. I was very happy that day on a boat in the fjords of Norway. And that's when I had my face paint on, and it's halfway washed off, and it kind of gets all smeared in the shower. And that's in a restroom of a fancy restaurant, and the lighting was so beautiful, and I was kind of doing a Greta Garbo kind of thing there. And I put like this interesting like gauze kind of lens thing on top of a filter on top of my lens. And that's how I painted my face one time for Halloween, just for fun. I had green lips, and there's me doing my Goddess Kringen thing. That was, I think, during the World Naked Bike Ride or the Fremont Summer Solstice Parade. I'm not sure which. And that one I call Kringamorphosis. That's me kind of dissolving into the plants behind me, and my face was painted. And that's kind of a happy accident reflection I got of myself called eye bolt, because that's my eye reflected in the bolt of the staple gun. And that's me in my face paint and a shirt that I silk screened and a felt hat that I made. More face paint for you, black and white. It's just really fun to like play with my camera, and that's me reflected in the bumper of a like chrome of a car. And I notice things that other people don't notice. That's my shadow in Scotland, in Edinburgh, Scotland. I love all the old funky walls in Europe. And yeah, that I have a waterproof camera, so that's all distorted from, I'm holding the camera underwater at Green Lake, I think. And that is my waterproof camera in the shower. If you turn the flash on, it makes the water droplets look like diamonds. And just, I think that was one of the Fremont Summer Solstice Parade days. And yeah, that's during the Summer Solstice or Body Pride ride or World Naked Bike ride. Just a regular shot of me, kind of looking a little masculine, I guess, androgynous, I'm not sure. And that's a photo combined transparently with a print that I made at Pratt. I took a printmaking class, and that's my face dissolved with a print. And I love reflections in water. And there was koi in that pond too. And I like chrome mylar windows, can give you multiple reflections of yourself if you walk by. And that was at the bus stop. I got multiple reflections of myself at the bus stop because there's window and window and window. And then that was in an art room where I had just modeled, and there's a bunch of duplicate shadows. And another mylar shot. I was going to say that I think autism and artisticness and autisticness, I should probably write an essay on this, because somebody taught me the clone tool in Photoshop, and then I went nuts with it, and I put a black wig on, and I used my scanner as a camera and just put my face on and just basically scanned my face. And that's a picture I took and then I drew on it. In Photoshop, I kind of airbrushed over it with many, many layers. And in Photoshop, I played around with that. But I think that being artistic and being autistic is similar, and I kind of want to write an essay on that. And yeah, I cloned myself. Those are my sisters. Those are my twin sisters. We're all twins. We're all quintuplets or whatever. And there's me with my cat. I love to walk my cat, and this other cat was following us. There's my cat Stella Bella. She's my best friend. She's kind of like my spouse. There's an example of me being painted, because for a living I model for art classes, and there's kind of a realistic drawing or painting of me from a modeling gig. There's me, Goddess Kringen, in the Summer Solstice Parade, and I like to paint my face. I'm inspired by Aboriginal and African people, but I really just make up my own style. And there's me in Edinburgh, Scotland, with my friend Neil, who's British. Again, there's Neil again, my British friend. We met in person a year ago after knowing each other online for like 10 years. So he's a great guy. I want to visit him again. I connect with him. And there's me and a film crew. I just got interviewed for a film on public access television and Art, Identity, and the Sacred, Shannon Kringen. So thanks for watching.